Today we're going to be talking about The Big Bang Theory, Season 1, Episode 16, The Peanut Reaction. This episode gets this title because in this episode, Howard shows just how desperate he is to meet a woman and that he is willing to give himself a potentially fatal peanut reaction just so that he can have Penny introduce him to one of her friends later in the episode. So, to start the episode, we see the gang all in the Cheesecake Factory, and Penny's coming over after receiving some complaints to tell them to stop what they're doing. And what are they doing? They are competing in a game that they call Trestling, which, according to Howard, combines the physical strength of arm wrestling with the mental agility of Tetris to be the ultimate sport. It's an odd game, and it left me wondering how would you win, because at one point, Sheldon says that Raj is beating him in Tetris, but he has the better upper body strength, so he's winning in the arm wrestling, and Raj tries to push his arm down, but can't move it, so Sheldon was right. But how do you win this game? Do you have to, and at both the Tetris and the arm wrestling, do you have to just win at the arm wrestling while you're distracted by the Tetris? It wasn't very clear on that. So I looked up the game, and there's not much out there on it. The Big Bang Theory is probably the biggest reference this game's ever received, but it is a real thing. If you know more about it, or know where there's a good source of information for it, please put that in the comments. So next, Penny decides to ask Leonard what he's going to be doing this weekend for his birthday, and Leonard says he doesn't celebrate his birthday, it's just the way he grew up. Penny's kind of surprised by this, but Leonard says, his family grew up and they celebrate achievements, and they don't view a birthday as an achievement. Sheldon even notes that Leonard's mother had written a book on this parenting approach, and we'll see later in the series that Leonard's mother wrote many books about his childhood experiences. Penny doesn't like that Leonard's never had a birthday party, so she decides to do something about it. We see Leonard leaving the apartment, and Howard makes a reference to his peanut allergy, which is important for what's to come later in the episode. Penny comes over, and with Sheldon, Raj, and Howard, she discusses her plan to throw Leonard a surprise birthday party. Sheldon doesn't like the idea, but Penny gets him on board pretty quick as she threatens to mess up one of his mint-condition comic books if he doesn't go along with her plan, so he falls in line. Next, we see Raj and Howard arriving on the day of the party with their gifts in hands. They try to do the secret knock on Penny's door. They try it twice, then Sheldon opens the door to inform them that their secret knock was wrong. But after Penny tells him to, he lets them in anyway. Penny's reviewing their plans for the party and asks them what they got him as gifts. Raj got him a Batman statue, Howard got him an autographed Feynman lecture, and Penny got him a sweater. Then she realizes that she didn't see a gift from Sheldon. Sheldon says he doesn't believe in the concept of gift giving because it's just a back and forth of a similar monetary value over and over again. And I understand this. Some people like gift giving, some people don't, some people find it fun, but Sheldon has a point in his view. But Howard has a way to get Sheldon on board with getting a gift. He tells Penny to tell Sheldon that it's a non-optional social convention. Sheldon hears this and is immediately on board. Penny's a little surprised, and Howard says, well, he has the manual that Sheldon came with. So they make a plan from there. Penny's going to take Sheldon to go buy a birthday present. She wants Howard to get Leonard out of the apartment, keep him distracted for 2 hours till everybody's back and the party's ready. She wants Raj to take everything across the hall, get the party set up, and entertain the guests as they arrive. Raj whispers into Howard's ear, and he's a little concerned what to do if these are women, and Penny gives him the simple instruction that he's able to do, and that's stare at them and make them feel uncomfortable. So Howard sets to work on trying to get Leonard out of the apartment. He goes over, and Leonard's playing his Xbox, and he is reluctant to leave the apartment. He says he's not interested in going to see a movie or really do anything else that Howard is trying to suggest. So Howard, getting desperate when he's running low on time, decides to fake a peanut allergy. He finds a Nutri-Grain bar, pretends to have eaten it, puts a piece of it in his pocket, and Leonard immediately gets ready and rushes to rush him to the hospital to get him some help. Before, as Howard says, his tongue swells up to the size of a brisket. In the meantime, Penny and Sheldon arrive at the electronics store, and they're looking for a gift for Sheldon. Penny tries to explain that he needs to get him something that he wouldn't buy him for himself, so Sheldon decides to go with a new internet router. As they're planning to leave, Sheldon starts getting asked questions by customers about the electronics because he knows what he's talking about and is very caught up in this and becomes caught up in helping people and not making any moves to leave. At the hospital, Leonard and Howard have arrived. Howard runs up to talk to the nurse. A fun note here is that this is the same nurse from the pilot episode and who appears in many more episodes to come throughout the show. Howard tries to convince her to go along with his lie that he's having an allergic reaction by giving him a fake shot and a Band-Aid. She says no. He tries to bribe her with $5, and she says that's not going to work unless you have $500. He begins having problems distracting Leonard, who's starting to notice that the allergic reaction may be fake, or at least not severe. So he calls Penny, who's still at the store. We see Penny at the store with a lot of people in line to ask Sheldon questions, so that's not going anywhere anytime quickly. She says he needs to delay Leonard at any cost so that they can all be there to stay surprised at the same time. She even says that if he can do this, she will introduce him to which one of her friends he has a shot with. This is too appealing for Howard to resist, so he takes out the piece of the bar he had put in his pocket previously and eats it, giving himself a severe reaction. Leonard runs up to tell the nurse that he needs some help, and we see that Howard has really swelled up and puffed up and has a severe allergic reaction. It's a very dangerous thing to do. Lucky he was already in the hospital when he decided to take that risk. Back to the electronics store, Penny has asked an employee to help her get Sheldon out of the store, and it eventually works. After she told Sheldon that she told him to also call security. Next we see Leonard and a now deflated Howard walking up the stairs to the apartment. They said they must have been there for a while because he says they did a bunch of tests when they're worried about a potential lawsuit. Howard even says they threw in a colonoscopy. So they arrive at the door, and Leonard asks Howard if there was a surprise party planned for him as he suspected. Howard says there was, and Leonard's actually excited to go into his first birthday party. They go in and see that, unfortunately, the party's over, everybody's gone. Sheldon and Penny are both asleep, and Raj is singing karaoke by himself while still drinking and not wearing a shirt. So, must have been at least somewhat of a fun party. And we close out the episode with Leonard seeing a video on his phone that Raj sent him from the party where he has a girl on his shoulders and they're having a good time, and he says everybody's drinking and having fun. So at the end, I guess you could say there was a first birthday party for Leonard, although he wasn't there and didn't get to have any of the fun. But Penny, I guess, still feeling bad. She wishes him a happy birthday and gives him a kiss. And it's not like a friendly peck on the cheek, it's a real kiss. So I guess she is showing that she too still has some interest there for Leonard. Leonard is kind of shocked, but then he follows Penny after she gets up asking when her birthday is. So that is The Big Bang Theory, Season 1, Episode 16, The Peanut Reaction. So there are some key takeaways from this episode, mainly being between Leonard and Penny. This is another episode where we show that their chemistry is still alive and growing. We see Penny shows concern for Leonard and wants to throw him a surprise birthday party. And at the end of the episode, again, they share a kiss. So she's showing that she is still developing some feelings and a bond between the two. We, of course, see, as obvious by the title, that Howard is willing to go through some extreme lengths if he thinks it will give him an opportunity to meet a woman that he thinks he has a chance with. And Sheldon, as we see, he is a very difficult person to get along with and to navigate. But if you know some little tricks over time from dealing with Sheldon, there are ways to get him to do things you want, as we see with Penny and Howard getting him to buy Leonard a birthday gift by telling him that it's a non-optional social convention, and Sheldon is willing to go along with things like that. This was a pretty good and fun episode. I would score this episode at a score of a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching, and please be sure to like, subscribe, and leave comments on the video. Hope you've been enjoying these Big Bang Theory reviews, and there is only one episode left to go in Season 1, so keep an eye out for that video coming soon.